Hey guys, this is Bliss98, and here is Blitzwing from Transformers Bumblebee. And yeah, it took me a really long time to make him, even though he's not a triple changer. And that's because I want to make him as accurate as possible, especially since the 3A figure is really good for reference pictures, so I really want to make it spot on to that. And yeah, I gotta say, I think Blitzwing is my favorite Transformer I've made this year so far. And it's not because he's my newest Transformer. I actually have 3 other Transformers after this to show off, which will come later. Yeah, so I'm a pretty big fan of Blitzwing design and his character. I like how it's like a movie version of the G1 Seeker, and even though he looks nothing like G1 Blitzwing or is not a triple changer, which makes things easier for me, I'm not really bothered by that, especially since I'm used to how the movies have done things with characters. And yeah, Blitzwing had a bunch of memorable lines in the movie. He had a good fight with Bumblebee, even though his death was kind of lame, but still good. And a shame he only got one accurate toy, which is kind of strange since he appeared in the first trailer, so it's weird that he should have got more toys. Maybe later. And I also have his stud.io file in the description below. He was built on stud.io, so I had no problem just sharing the file. And to start, here we have Blitzwing in his F4 Phantom mode, and I just really like this jet mode. I think this is easily my best jet mode I've made. Everything's all smooth and comes together. There's no like extra kibble or weird parts sticking out. All this gray detail in the back, while it looks messy, it kind of meshes together. And he has a gold cockpit, the little intakes in the front, even though they're kind of slanted, which is based on the piece I used. And if you notice, the front of the jet looks very familiar because I just straight up took this from Shatter. I thought it was a good design to work off of, and it works. Middle of the jet is kind of chubby, but that's fine. That's because when I made the prototype, I only made half of him, so I wouldn't know what the two halves would look together. But there's no way around that. And yeah, there's a little gray blob here. That's more for a robot mode, but I think it adds a little splash of color. And in the back here, you got the engines. They should be bigger, but they're kind of small for robot mode and sunken in. This area should be a little longer. I think that's fine. The main big tail fin here and the two smaller ones on the side are cool. You got the nice red colors around. They should be red on top of the fin, but that would affect robot mode a bit. And I didn't have too many pictures of the jet to work off of besides the screenshots in the movie, but I think that is fine. And he also has a landing gear. This thing can fold up like that. It's one of the better landing gears I've made. Although you can kind of see it though. And you're flipping him over to the bottom. And as you can see, he's probably my favorite jet, also because he's very clean underneath too. You probably can't even tell there's no really obvious robot parts. You can see some white, and I'll get into that later. And there's two tanks on the side, which are nice. The cool thing is that this slope piece, this kind of holds most of the wing in place. It perfectly lines up with this tank here. And there's supposed to be one in the middle and two missiles on the side. I took them off because the plane wouldn't be flat on the ground with them, and for simplicity too. And the jet underneath, it's cool because most of the mass of the jet is actually above the wings, so it's nice. It's not like I crammed a robot under this, which I have done in the past, because there's no way I could do it with this design. And another feature, I think I'm not an expert in planes, but I think on the F4 Phantom, when you're storing this on a aircraft carrier or something, you can just fold the wings in like that. It's a cool touch. It's also for transformation. Yeah. And spinning the jet mode around, you'll see everything all nice and neat. I just like how the top came out too. It's really smooth. I got most of the shaping of the jet mode right. There you go. And the jet holds together pretty well. The tail fin will droop back sometimes depending how you transform him back, but he's very swishable. You can fly him around. And for a size comparison, you got Ravage, you got a minifigure, and we have Bumblebee. Even though they were never together, and Bumblebee was never with Blitzwing in this form, but it's a small car for scale. And here we have him with a Studio Series Starscream, and my movie Starscream, which is pretty outdated. He's F-22. And my Transformers Prime Starscream. And my Nitro Zeus from the last night. He's a Eurofighter, even though he wasn't that plane in the movie, which kind of made it inaccurate. That's fine, they're both really big jets, so. And finally we have my Shatter. This guy's jet mode makes Shatter's jet mode look kind of like garbage right now. I actually kind of enjoyed this up until I made Blitzwing, but yeah, Shatter's a Harrier, but It's a very messy one, so yeah, but yeah, you can see the sacrifices you have to make when something has to be a triple changer. And now for the transformation, I just kind of made up Blitzwing's transformation. It is essentially just the G1 Seeker transformation on steroids with a lot of steps and stuff. And to start, we're gonna fold the oops, not yet. I'm gonna fold the landing gear in. Bringing all this down reveals the head, but first we gotta come to the bottom, and we're gonna take these sections, the little white bits here. They're just gonna fold up. And then coming over to the back, you go to the edges here. You're just going to take your fingernail, get in there, rotate this upwards, and fold this up too. And you want these parts to meet together. Just going to leave them like that. And you can see these will start to come down because the engines hold this part in place. And you're coming up to this top cover here, you just want to get your finger between these two studs. There's a reason why these are exposed, and just pull them apart, and then they're just going to fold out, revealing what's inside, which is kind of hollow actually. I do use a technique I used on some of my other Transformers like Mixmaster. And yeah, and the funny thing is his arm transformation, these are his arms over here. It leaves enough gap for this part to pass through, which was not something I took into account for before. And then on this extra hinge, fold this, and then it'll give you the clearance to pull all this out here. That's one arm, and then you can fold this back. And then you have to fold this down, out, up, and then all this is starting to come apart right now. And I'm going to make things worse right now actually. Coming over to here where the leg and the engine is, there's a little tab in here. You want to untab that, like that. That gives you a clearance to pull the legs out. The legs are actually, they don't tab together at any point, so this is crucial. And then you pull this out, and then you pull that. Yeah, as you can see, the ball joint area rested right here. So, and then now the legs are apart. You want to pull this outwards like this. Fold this up, and then for the legs, you want to shift these out. These are going to be the legs. You can see where all the limbs are relatively. And then you want to come over here. Take this part here. It folds sideways, so like this clip doesn't hit the bottom. So you fold that in, and then you gotta fold the legs down, and then fold the legs down. And you can kind of see what's going on now. Actually, I'm gonna fold everything down for now and deal with the arms. Coming over to the arms here, just want to get this out of the way. Fold this panel outwards. Oh, it likes to come off, but you'll see why. And then you want to shift all this out like this. Fold this. Take this fin, fold it out, and now you're going to take this section, rotate this around. There are a lot of ball joints in here, and then coming over to here, fold that out. Take this bracket, fold it out like that, and now this section here will fold up. Hope you can see that well. And now fold the hand in, fold that out, and this part is going to fold under, and it's going to tab right into place like that. And then this section is going to rotate around. That's why it comes off easily. Fold the section down, and then fold the section like that, and then shift it to the middle, and just press it into place. It'll hold the arm. Yep, that comes off easily. And now for the other arm here, fold this. Fold this section out. Fold this out like this. Just a lot of chunks and stuff like around, and fold this down, fold this out, rotate this around, fold this, shift, and then you're coming over to here. You want to unfold that, unfold this, so you rotate this around, fold this out, rotate this, like that. There's a lot of folding, which is some of my favorite transformation things, just when things fold around. Rotate this around, and rotate this around. And now I put all the parts back, you have this weird like GUR plane taking a rest. And first you gotta take the nose cone, shift it down, fold it inwards like with shatter. And then the leg section, you gotta pull this on this extra hinge here, fold these sections down like that, and then we're gonna fold all this up. The landing gear here should go right through this little gap here. Let it just fold in, let it pop out. Actually, before we do that, we want to deal with this stuff first. You fold these sections outwards, fold this down, take this whole section is on a ball joint. This allows for its kind of iconic like chest area. You rotate this 180, fold this up so it, there's its head, fold this up so it kind of goes right into here, like that, and then fold this forward and put its head back. And fold these sections down, and then you want to shift this to the middle, and shift that to the middle, and there you go. There's the whole center body. And now this is the interesting part where everything starts to come together. You want to fold the nose cone up as far as possible. This clip will go right into here. Once that is in, everything should be good. Just grab that and push. There you go. And now for the arms here, there's like a lot of little struts folding around. You want to make the arms come forward. It's a double hinge system here. Just want to fold this forward like this and like that, and that will bring the arms in the relatively correct spot. And just rotate this and then fold it like that. And oh boy, coming onto the back, take this, just leave it down for now. And coming over here, this is an important step, fold these forward, fold that. And this is another locking point. These two studs will go right into the tops of the shoulders. Yeah, as you can see, without them, the shoulders will flap about. And then on this double hinge now, you rotate this, and then the second hinge that holds the wings will fold down along with it. And then just getting over here and give that a good push. And same for this side. Just give this a nice push. And now everything here is connected, so it will move together when you move the arms like that and hold in place. And now for these little bits here, these will become like the little side things here. These will fold up. As you can see, the nose cone is kind of hidden there. This will help cover that. Fold this up. Shift this down, fold this up. And this will fold inwards like that. Rotate this like that, and same for this side. Shift this down, fold this, oh, wrong way, actually it's this way, and then you fold this up like that and just fold this in. There you go. And now for the legs. This was the hardest part when designing Blitzwing because they had to form this really specific shape, and you can see all the hinges on one side, and this is like the whole back of the plane. First you gotta do is you rotate this, and then you want to spin this around here. Then you want to take the tail fin, or half the tail fin. Actually, what you want to do first is you want to come over here, rotate this, take this black hinge, rotate this all the way around, like that. And then coming up to here, this will fold inwards, and when that thing is gone, this part will drop. It's nice. And then you gotta fold this outwards, rotate this around, fold this inwards, and then rotate this around again, and this will become one of the feet. And the cool part is this part will shift forward, and now this little panel here, it's gonna line up and tab right into here. And this is another crazy part. There's another hinge that needs to be locked in, so this part on these tiny hinges here is going to rotate around like this, and it's just going to change shape pretty much like that. And when these things are together, you want to lift this upwards. As you can see, there's a stud here that once this is folded down, actually you want to rotate this forward a bit, like that, just for now. Fold this up. yeah, once this is folded down, this part will come over here and tap into place. And this is going to fold in just for now. We're going to deal with this later. And then we're going to come to the other leg. That was fun, wasn't it? First you want to rotate this back. Take this. This is actually going to become the fake wheels on his legs. That's why I rotated them, to hide them out of the way. This will drop. And then you will pull this outwards. Fold. Tab. Rotate, fold, rotate, like that. I'm gonna forget this after a while, but and coming over to here, as you can see what's going on here. I didn't show it very well, but these parts are gonna fold in, and this stud will attach to the back of the knee right there. And then you want to fold this upwards, fold, and then fold this again. Like that. And then you want to fold this outwards, actually, and then fold this down, and then you want to tab this into place like that, and then rotate the whole thing around. Forgot to do that. And now for the legs, the actual legs, you want to, like the little panels on the legs, you want to take this section, shift it to the middle like this, fold this around, fold this like that. This will sit right here. And for that other tail fin, it's just gonna, you wanna shift this, actually it's already shifted, weird, like that. And then all this is gonna come together around the leg. And then this little bit here rotates back. And there's one Blitzwing leg done. And the second one, this isn't that bad. This is like a lot of folding. Things are not gonna break unless you like do things wrong. Come over to the side here, shift it to the middle, fold this down like that, and take this one here, fold it inwards like that, and all this will just compress in. And now that his legs are done, let's focus on the wings and backpack. Let's fold this upwards. First you gotta do is these turbines here. These fold forward, and then this part spins and just rests right there. And I'm spinning him to the back. There's a lot going on right here. It just came off, but it's fine. This whole like little strut here, it's gonna fold inwards like this on a series of hinges. Fold this, and then fold this inwards. And that's just gonna sit on his back as a little jetpack like thing. Actually, these stick out actually like this. And there you go. You want to rotate these like that, and rotate these like this. And the wings are very cool. Like, I like how I shaped them. So you want to take the wing here, fold this inwards. All this is gonna rotate around like that. And then coming onto the back here, you want to fold this out like, you want to fold this like that and fold it inwards. So you could do it like, actually it's like this, so that. And for this wing, you want to just fold it back on the ball joint, rotate it, fold this wing, fold it back. And Blitzwing is almost done. There's a little thing here. These little tanks here, they're supposed to be on this side of the wing, but I was really happy how this turned out. It doesn't, you can't even notice the mechanism right now. You take this section, fold it, and then you grab this section, and then you rotate this around, fold this inwards, and they swap sides. And then you fold this section in, and then you want to shift this down as far down as possible, like that. And there you go, there's one wing. And then the same for the other side. It's this simple, just like a Technic pin spinning around. I was gonna go for something more complicated, but I'm really glad this works. Fold it like that. And then shifting it down, folding this. Make sure the tips are folded back. And then you come over here, position the little bits here like that, and like this. And after a bit of fiddling around, because he is a bit back heavy, here is Blitzwing finally in his robot mode. And this is like just as good or even better than jet mode. It really came close to the 3A model in the CGI, and yeah, I got all the details in. He has some white highlights. I like how they're hidden in jet mode. They're not very apparent in the movie, but the 3A model had them, and it's good to add a little splash of color. Yeah, it doesn't really stand out as much as I feared. And then coming into the back, it's like there's like no backpack. It's all pretty accurate there. And I'm going to start up with the head, because that's the first thing I designed. As you can see here, I used the new pieces here to represent his like gas mask. His head might be a little big, but I'm fine with how it is. You can rotate and look up and down. And his face is a bit long too, but that's all good. And just giving him a quick spin. As you can see, his giant wings and his back and the legs and stuff. All the details you can capture before I go into all of them. And I got the vents on the side. These little bits, these are kind of cool. They just add a little detail like pistons and the little white panels and shins. And I have the fake wheels on his feet. They're fake, yes, I know, which I don't mind about that. The back, this is the only really inaccurate part. These little tail fins are kind of red. I wanted them to wrap around here, but they wouldn't fit because these legs took so long to make. And then coming over to here, the back, you see the little panels here hanging here. These are accurate. And then coming over here, he even has the two fins on the back. I'm glad I got that in. And the thrusters, this forms kind of like a jetpack. And then he actually has two panels here on the 3A model, which are represented here, just by coincidence. And then on the top here, this should be farther down, but this is like the turbines. He could lift his head up like when he first transforms in the trailer, like that. And then the big fins here. I wish these were light gray, because these are light gray, but they don't come in this color. And the wings, they could be moved back on the ball joint for these little tanks here. And yeah, that's it for the details. His fists, I got the red stripe here too, which is awesome. Overall, I'm really happy with his color placement. And for articulation, he is actually very articulated. His head moves around as you saw before. It could look up. This is one of the most articulated Transformers heads I've made in a while. It does come off too, but and then for the arms, they're on this ball joint here. Rotate around. Due to how this section is locked into place, this won't move around anymore. It goes inwards and out just on a ball joint. It can't fold out all the way, but that's what this joint is for. He has like a upper bicep swivel, and this can move in and out, and like that. You can reach pretty far. And then this is on a joint here. And his hands, they're inspired by the ones I've used for Optimus Prime. I think I'm going to go forward with these hands because they're very like sturdy. And for the legs, you can move them in and out. He isn't too posable with the legs themselves, even though they are posable. If you move the piston forward, he can get a 90-degree bend at the knee. Like that. And then a foot pivot. Like bend back and forth like that. And there you go. You can see he could pull off a superhero landing pose, which is awesome. And yeah, he's posable. Just be careful of his backpack. The knees are the weakest joint on him, just solely how like the knees work, because that's why Lego doesn't include knees on their giant mechs and stuff. And you can also do the splits. All my Bumblebee Transformers so far can do the splits, with the exception of Shatter. And his wings are also very articulated. They can fold all the way back like that, and they could also fold up. I'm surprised the wings can, the ball joints can hold their weight, since this is just a single ball joint. It allows for great posing. And now for his weapons, we have his cannon here. This cannon he uses. This part, fold this out. Make sure his fist is closed. This only goes on his right arm, but it can go like another arm, but you swap the parts. And then this part will fold down and tab right into his the back of his hand. Just like that, and it's going to fold over all this here and sit comfortably. And there goes a little cannon. These are supposed to be mini missiles. I didn't want to make them too like chunky compared to the main barrel, but there you go. It's a nice cannon. I like the little splash of red I added, so it's like, I think it's on the model too. And his second accessory is the voice box remover, whatever this is called. I use a Nexonite's piece. It's very pointy, so it works perfectly. So what you want to do for that, you want to fold out the hands like this. Take this little thumb, I guess this is a thumb, fold it outwards. Put the hands kind of back like that. And then this section is going to clip right into here. It's supposed to come out of his hands. You can see it transformed with his fingers. This is close enough for me. Yeah, and there is Blitzwing with his 2 weapons from the movie. And for some size comparisons, we have a minifigure. And then we have Ravage here. And here is his Last Night Drift with missing a few pieces, but that's how he scales to the normal Carbot. And Studio Series Starscream. And with my movie Optimus Prime, well, Blitzwing does seem pretty big. He's not that big compared to Optimus. Of course, the scale is pretty off because the Nightverse Transformers are much smaller than the Bayverse. And Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. And for more relevant comparisons, we have Dropkick. And then we have Shatter here. And there you go. Here are the 3 main bad guys of the movie. I think the scale is perfect. Dropkick's are shorter than Shatter, and then Blitzwing's a little taller, and it really works out. It's great to see these 3 together. And here we have Bumblebee over here. Yeah, there you go. I think the scale is fine. I think Bumblebee should be a little taller, but I like, this is such a great group. These are all my B movie Transformers so far. And we have a cool shot of just B facing off against Blitzwing. There, and I'm trying to replicate the scene where he gets his voice box removed. Obviously Blitzwing can't hold Bumblebee with his hands, and Bumblebee is not in his Jeep form, which I don't plan to build anytime soon. And there you go, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed Blitzwing. He's by far my favorite build this year. His jet mode is really clean and swishable, and his robot mode is spot on to the CGI and 3A model, down to all the colors and stripes and everything. So it was awesome to have that as a reference, even though I don't actually own the figure. But yeah, the only problems I have with Blitzwing, the main ones, are that his knees can't support his weight sometimes because of his backpack. And other than that, I just really like how he turned out. Of course, you can make Blitzwing yourself because I have the studio file in the description along with that for Shatter. And for my next Transformer, I already teased this on Instagram and my community tab, but I'll be turning Blitzwing into a Tetrajet. Well, not turning this Blitzwing, but I'll be using his engineering to make some Tetrajets, which are Starscream and Skywarp, as chosen by the polls I've made. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys then.